The Smarter Money Life podcast is sponsored by Forum Credit Union, a member-owned financial cooperative serving members since 1941. Forum, your trusted financial partner, helping members live their financial dreams every day. Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Mattingly.
And I'm Nicole Royal.
Ready to feel more confident with your money?
Then you're in the right place. This is Smarter Money Life.
So, in August already.
I know, I can't believe it. The summer has flown by.
Yes. Kids are going to be starting school, back from Camp Grandma that we talked about last time.
We're back to school shopping. We're getting calendars set up. School is quickly approaching.
I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I'm happy for you.
All right, Nicole, where are we starting today?
Today we're tackling one of the most requested topics we've had all year, credit scores. Your credit score is the silent decision maker behind almost every big money move you'll make. Your house, your car, your apartment, even the job you land. And yet most people have no idea how it actually works.
And it's a topic that touches everybody, whether you're trying to buy your first car, rent an apartment, refinance your home, get a better rate. Your credit score is quietly working in the background. So we're going to break it down, why it matters, how to build it, how to protect you, and how to make it work for you.
And later in the show, we're bringing in someone who literally looks at credit reports every single day. Trust me, you're going to want to hear what he has to say.
Yes, you definitely will want to hear what he has to say. All right, Nicole, let's set this table. Why does a credit score matter so much?
Really, because it follows you everywhere. It's not just about getting a loan. It impacts the interest rate on your mortgage, your car loan, your credit cards, and it can affect whether you get approved for an apartment, how much you pay for your insurance, and in some industries, whether or not you land the job.
And here's the part that a lot of people don't realize. A strong credit score can save you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Improving your score really can help you keep more of your money in your pocket over time. So this is about credit scores, but it's also about having more money and being better off financially.
And I always say it's like your financial reputation. It tells the world how you handle money before you ever sit down at the table.
Yeah, exactly. I really like it. And, it's just a 3-digit number, but that number can create opportunities and help you save money when you need credit.
So what range are we kind of talking about?
Generally, it's 300 to 850. And this is like bowling, where you want a higher score, not golf, where you want a lower score. And if you're over 740, it puts you in great shape. Below 670, you're going to start paying more. And below 580, it gets really tough to get credit.
So the goal is to stay above 740 and just hang there?
I think that's the sweet spot for everyone. That should be everyone's goal, to get there and stay above that.
Okay, let's get into the how. How do we actually build a credit score?
I believe there's 5 habits, and they're really simpler than people think. Number 1, pay every bill on time. That alone is 35% of your score. So set up auto pay so you never miss a due date.
And number 2, keep your balances low. We tell our members to keep their usage at 30% or less. The lower really is the better.
Number 3, start with the right tools. If you've had no credit, start with a secured credit card, a credit builder loan, or being added as an authorized user on a parent's card. All great starting points to start building your credit. And now there's also the ability that if you're paying rent, that can do it as well.
Number 4 gets people, but keep your old accounts open. People close their first credit card all the time and don't realize that actually shortens your credit history.
And number 5, apply for new credit sparingly. Every hard inquiry takes a bite out of your score. So don't go applying for a bunch of store cards, especially if you're back to school shopping or you're headed out to college and you start adding up all these stored cards all at one time. So don't apply every time you're checking out.
I really love these tips because none of them require a finance degree. They're just good habits.
Yeah, exactly. Small habits, big score. All right, Nicole, we've talked about why credit scores matter and how to build them, but I think it's time we brought in someone who looks at credit reports every single day.
Yes, because you and I can give the consumer side, but our listeners want to know what's happening on the other side of the desk. What does the person actually approving the loans see?
So joining us today is someone who knows credit inside and out and has been a previous guest on the Smarter Money Life. That's Kurt Niles, Vice President of Underwriting right here at Forum Credit Union. Kurt, welcome to Smarter Money Life.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Kurt, let's start big picture. When a member applies for a loan and their credit report lands on your desk, what's the first thing you're looking for?
Well, I think the first thing you look for in underwriting is what is the report telling in terms of a story. So you both kind of touched on some things that the TransUnion Credit Bureau, which is what we use, um, it's a credit score based on the information that's on their credit report. So it's a three-digit number, as you mentioned, and they are looking at the payment history, the current balances, and then the recent applications you applied for in terms of inquiries. So um, those are the big things that we're looking at is what is that story telling you in terms of extending credit to somebody. So I'm looking at whether the applicant pays consistently, how much debt they carry compared to what their available credit is, and whether anything of those two things suggest any type of financial stress or any added risk to the credit union.
Kurt, when you've talked to people, because I know sometimes you've had to talk to members about when they've applied, what do you think the biggest misconception they have about their credit score?
Well, the biggest misconception that we run into a lot from conversations with our members is there's not one magic number in terms of a FICO score or a Vantage score that people see out on the website, the various websites that they check. There are several different scoring models out there. So if you're looking at a free credit score model, it may show you one score, but the score that the lender is using could be a completely different model. They should not vary too much, but this number is dynamic, and with the different models, it can change depending on the scoring model used. But keep in mind that the factors that go into creating that credit score do not change. So if you create consistent credit habits, you'll be fine.
Okay, we're going to ask you to give us some secrets. What's the fastest way someone can actually move their score up?
Well, I want to be careful when we say the fastest way because there is no quick fix to repairing credit. If there is the fastest way using the components of what goes into a credit score, that is lowering your balances. I think, Nicole, you mentioned that earlier in this conversation. So if you can keep those balances at 30% or less, that's the quickest way to increase your score because that's something you can control almost immediately.
That's a good point. Okay, Kurt, on the flip side, what are red flags you see that hurt people the most?
Well, this one's pretty easy. So, payment history is the largest percentage of the five components that go into a FICO score or a Vantage score. So, when you see a lot of recent late payments combined with high balances, recent collections, or a pattern of applying for new credit, these things seem to I don't know. It seems to suggest that a person is having some type of stress in their financial life, or they're playing a chasing game to pay one bill with another debt. So those are the things that draw the biggest red flags for us as in underwriting.
And I want to follow up there with you, Kurt. When you say pay late, just so that our listeners know, what's reported? Is it if you're 10 days late and you get the late fee, or is it if you're 30 days late?
It's 30 days late. So once you are past due 30 days, you would report it as a late payment.
Okay.
Okay, so for somebody considering a buy now, pay later purchase, what's the rule of thumb for deciding whether it's a useful financial tool or a warning sign that the purchase may not fit their budget?
My rule of thumb is buy now, pay later. It helps you manage planned purchases that already fit into your budget. So it can be a very useful tool. The ease of it, of getting it, a lot of places that you're purchasing things will have it right there. You can just complete the transaction seamlessly. So it could be a useful tool. But if you're using that option to fit something in your budget that doesn't fit, that's going to create bigger problems than you think. So I would make sure that a person understands the term of the buy now, pay later, understands what the late fees on those are. Are there prepayment penalties? Are there anything in there that can make it difficult for you to make that payment? So that would end up being a negative experience for you. So I would be careful and make sure you understand what type of loan you're getting.
Well, and I think something that somebody could ask themselves too is, am I using this option because my credit cards are maxed out and I can't use a credit card? Or like you said, am I using this option because we were going to buy the furniture and this is just an easy way to make the payments over 6 months?
Yeah, my suggestion would be the latter. I mean, you should use that for ease of use, not as a means to get more credit, because again, we're going back to that. You want to keep these balances as low as possible on your credit file. You don't want to just keep accumulating debt. It's not going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, sometimes people have problems that in the past they've had a judgment or a collections account on their record. What options do they have to recover from this and move forward financially? So, they're looking at trying to repair their credit, but they have some of these things out there. What are things that they can do to move forward? And we know it's not going to be fast, but what can they do?
Well, first thing you want to do is not ignore it. So it will not go away. So you need to pull your credit report. And first thing you want to do is confirm the information on there is accurate. You can contact the creditor or the collection agency, whichever it is, and get a better understanding of what that balance is. And a lot of these places will offer options for you to pay that off, pay a portion of that off, work out payment plans. There's also, if you do find that something is incorrect and you have supporting documentation that is being reported incorrectly, they will work with you as well, or go straight to the credit bureau and have them help you out. But if the account is valid, your number one goal is to resolve it as fast as possible and avoid any new late payments. That will help you repair it as quick as possible.
So, just a follow-up question. A paid collection is going to actually do, like if you do get a collection, but you end up paying it, that is going to provide some positive benefit down the road, correct?
It will. Visually, it will stay on the credit report. But most underwriters, if it's an isolated incident, they'll understand that. They may ask you to explain it, but usually those are pretty easily to explain away.
Okay, last one. From your seat, what's the single best thing someone can do right now to protect their credit?
Okay, that's the easiest question you've asked all day. You can freeze your credit report. So all the credit report providers will allow you to freeze that for free. So if you're not using your credit report currently, put a lock on it, put a freeze on it. You can easily unfreeze it when it's time to need it, or time to use it, I should say. But that is the simplest way.
Kurt, this has been golden. It's real talk from someone who lives in the credit world every day.
Yeah, seriously, I feel like every listener just got a free credit coaching session. Thank you, Kurt.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think people sometimes get overwhelmed maybe with credit, but it's pretty simple. You two hit it directly on the head. Make your payments on time, watch your balances, and make sure you're checking your credit report for accurate information. Those three things will take you a long way.
That's Kurt Niles, Vice President of Underwriting at Forum Credit Union. Kurt, it's been a pleasure having you on Smarter Money Life.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andy, Kurt gave us a great launch pad. Let's keep going on protection, because today's scammers are smarter, faster, and more convincing than ever.
Absolutely, because we talked about building the score, and that's really only half of the game. Now we want to get through the, protecting your score. So here's our protection checklist that we've put together for you.
And Kurt mentioned this, and we've talked about this before. Freeze your credit when you're not using it. It's free, and it stops identity thieves in their tracks. And honestly, they've made it so much easier recently than it was when it first rolled out. So it's easy to do.
Yes, definitely easier. And it's almost, sometimes they have apps now. The other thing is turn on account alerts. Not only account alerts on your financial accounts like deposit and credit cards and stuff, but also turn on alerts on your credit bureau, because you can do that too, because you can see that someone's trying to unfreeze it or do something.
And check your credit reports regularly at annualcreditreport.com. It's completely free and one of the smartest moves you can make.
Another thing to do is dispute errors fast. We talked a little bit about it. There can be collections or judgments. Mistakes happen, and they can cost you if you don't catch them early. And it could be your mistake because you forgot to pay a medical bill, or the medical institution that somehow didn't realize that you'd paid for it or got applied to another account. So dispute it quickly. A lot of times, if it shows that it's resolved, it doesn't hurt.
And never share your personal information to anyone that you don't trust, no matter how convincing the call, text, or email looks.
Yeah, so just remember this. Protect it the same way you would protect any valuable financial asset, because that's what your credit score is. It's really an asset for you to help you with your entire financial life.
Yeah, I remember checking my credit score for the first time and being surprised by how much it seemed to matter. Before then, it just felt like a random number.
Yeah, you're not alone. I felt the same way too. And you don't really think about it until you need it. Now, it's getting a little bit better because a lot of people can see their score on different apps and different things like that. But a lot of times you're still not paying attention to it until you start applying for a loan or renting an apartment. And then you see that that number has following you everywhere.
And what I learned was that improving it wasn't about making one huge change. It's a lot of small habits.
Yeah, and one of the common questions I've heard over the years is whether closing an old credit card helps your score. And as we talked about, many people are shocked to learn that it can actually hurt them.
Yep. One thing I've seen over the years is people trying to improve their credit by closing old credit cards that they no longer use. And it does sound logical. Less credit, less temptation. But I remember talking with someone who did exactly that and was surprised when their score actually dropped. What they didn't realize is the card was helping their credit history and overall utilization. It was a great reminder that credit scores don't always work the way people expect, which is why understanding the basics is so important.
It is counterintuitive.
Right.
You close the card and it doesn't work the way you think. It really is. Okay, before we wrap up, if you do nothing else today, do these 3 things. We hope you take these 3 lessons away. And they take less than 30 minutes. They're free, and they'll move the needle on your credit score immediately.
Number 1, check your credit report.
Pull your free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. Look for errors, accounts you don't recognize, and anything suspicious. You can't fix what you don't see. Number 2, freeze your credit.
Place a credit freeze with all 3 bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. As Kurt said, it's the single best way to stop identity thieves cold. Move 3, turn on account alerts.
So log on to your bank, credit union, your credit cards. Turn on every alert possible. Purchases, balances, logins, credit inquiries. Because instant awareness equals instant protections.
3 moves, 30 minutes, a stronger, safer credit score starting today. That's what this show is all about. Not perfection, just helping you make smarter decisions one step at a time.
And here's the truth, and I want people to remember this. Your credit score isn't just a number on your mobile phone screen or in the app. It's leverage. It's an asset you can build, and just like any financial goal, small improvements today create more opportunities tomorrow. It's a difference between paying full price and paying a smart price for the biggest decisions of your life. We all like discounts.
Of course. So build it with intention, protect it like it matters, because it does, and let it work for you, not against you. And if your score isn't where you want it to be today, that's okay. Credit scores are designed to reflect habits over time, and habits can change.
Thanks for joining us today, and a huge shout out to our guest, Kurt Niles from Forum Credit Union. Remember, wherever you are in your money journey, we're here to help you get there.
And that's what we're all about, helping you make confident, informed choices with your money.
We appreciate you being here with us.
And be sure to tune in next time for another dose of real, practical money talk.
Thank you for joining us today. Our hope is that we can help you live your best financial life. For more insights, be sure to subscribe to the Smarter Money Life YouTube channel and also catch the Smarter Money Minute segment every Thursday on Fox 59's Indy Now Lifestyle Show. Remember, reaching your financial dreams is a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to making your dreams a reality.